All right, guys, welcome to our second to last week of the trimester. It's a very short week. And because we have a short week, I didn't really want to move into our next step of astronomy. I wanted to pause a little bit and give you a chance to kind of dive into some of those really cool topics that you have questions about. So that's kind of our theme for the week this week. It's enrichment. So kind of picking something that you like about astronomy, want to learn more about astronomy, as have always had questions about, and taking the time and going through that. So I'll walk through the week here in just a second. I did want to just reiterate a couple of things here. After our 3 days this week, you have a full week next week, and that is our last week of trimester 1. And due to that, your very last day to resubmit any assessments for a better grade is going to be this Wednesday, the 25th at 11:59 p.m. So take some time over the next couple of days, ask questions, show up to Zooms. I've got open Zoom sessions Monday and Tuesday from 1 to 3 both days. And then, for Wednesdays, since we don't have the opportunity to come into school for help anymore, the help session for science is at 11:35 in the morning. And, it's just kind of a drop in. What questions do you have? Get some help, and then feel free to kind of head on out. And then I'm also available Wednesday from 1 to 3 as well. So a lot of opportunities to get help this week to improve your score, to improve your grade. All right. And then next week, after our break, we'll get back into astronomy, getting into some of those details and getting some more of that background. Okay, so for our enrichment activity this week, you're going to be kind of diving into something, becoming a little bit of an expert, and then teaching that to the rest of the class. Kind of like what we've been doing with our short little pictures of the week, right? We get our picture, and then I kind of go on a little tangent about what that picture is, give you a little bit of a lesson, some background, and that's kind of what we're looking for this enrichment activity. So on Monday, I'll introduce it. For those of you that I don't see on Monday, I'll introduce it here for you. Your goals for Monday are to choose your topic, which some of you might be able to do that quickly. Some of you might take a little while, and I'll give you some resources to look into some of those different topics. Once you choose your topic, you need to take notes. You need to come up with some information, be a little bit of an expert, so that you can speak well and teach your classmates about the topic that you picked. And then another thing that you're going to want to do is start thinking about what you want your lesson or your visual to be, so that you can start building that on Tuesday. Your homework assignment for Monday night is to turn in all of your notes to Schoology by 11:59 p.m. Okay, and we'll talk more about that. Tuesday, for those of you that I don't see on Monday, the very first thing that we're going to do on Tuesday is kind of just see where you're at, what questions you have. I'll go through the expectations for those of you that missed the video or whatever the case is. And then after that short amount of time, really it's going to be a work day to build that visual, build that lesson, which you will then need to post into a Schoology discussion on Wednesday. Okay, so Monday is kind of getting the background, taking those notes, and then Tuesday is really building. If you need more time to build your visual, build your lesson, you'll have some time on Wednesday. Remember, from that first chunk of the day on Wednesday is a work day for all of your different classes, so utilize that if you need it. And then you'll also need to check out one of your classmates' posts and kind of comment on that. And all of that, both your post and your reply to a classmate's post, is due Wednesday night by 11:59 p.m. Okay? So let's jump over to Schoology and kind of take a look at where this stuff is. So in the astronomy unit folder, it'll also be in the upcoming, but I haven't published it yet. There's an enrichment folder that will be published shortly. And the first thing that you're going to need to do is the astronomy enrichment activity. This assignment description walks you through, this is your chance to kind of jump into some of those fun things. And I'll give you an example in class when I see you either Monday or Tuesday. So whether it's like quasars, black holes, planets, moons, aliens, lots and lots of different places to go, or different topics to think about. Okay, the first link in there is something from Khan Academy. All right, so it takes you to this. All right, and you can kind of see over on that left-hand side, you've got different topics, and then within those different topics, you have subtopics. So, kind of pick something that you're curious about or interested in, whether it's black holes, life and death of stars, like I said, aliens, space travel, stuff like that. So something that you'd like to learn and then teach your classmates about. Okay. Now, don't feel like that Khan Academy link is the only place to go to find topics or to find information. Go to our Gale resources, go to NASA's website, lots and lots of different places to go. It's just absolutely critical that you make sure that you're using reliable, credible resources. Okay. So, first thing you're going to do is think about, what you want to do, and then pick your topic, and then from there, you need to research that topic. And like I said, you can get background information and take notes from Khan Academy. You can get information and take notes from our databases in our Schoology page up there at the top in that green folder. Lots of places to go. All right. What you need to do for Monday night is, after you've picked your topic and you've researched, while you're researching, I want you to take notes. And as you can see there in yellow, it says that you can feel free to use the structure of notes that we did for our research paper, where you've got a main idea and then you've got supporting facts, and then a main idea, supporting facts from different sources. If you'd like to use a completely different format, that's entirely up to you. But whatever notes that you take, those are what you're turning in for Monday. Okay. The other links in here are for the lesson or for the visual. So I'm going to open this up. Well, when you open it up, it's a Google Doc. I sent that Google Doc over to Notability just so that I could, write on it and highlight some things. Okay. You're not actually going to be doing anything on this document. You're just reading it, getting the background and the directions. Okay. So after you have your notes, this is the next step. You're kind of in teacher mode now. And your goal is to create some sort of visual. Okay, and a visual is a very broad word. Lots of things go into that, and we can talk about it. But the goal of your visual is to teach your classmates about that really cool topic that you picked. Okay, and you can kind of see the format is entirely up to you. If you want to do something like explain everything, or there's the Clips app. You could create a digital poster. You could create an explore activity. Lots of different things to choose from when it comes to your visual. All right. A key though is to make sure that whatever visual you make, that it can be sent over to Google Drive, because you're just going to copy and paste the shareable link into our discussion later on. Okay. Now, before you start creating that visual or that lesson, it's extremely important to think about, well, what is your student or your audience supposed to get? What's the goal that they're supposed to learn from your lesson? Okay, so really, really think about that. And it needs to be somewhere in your visual, whether you say it out loud. Okay, hey guys, we're talking about black holes today. The purpose of this is blank. Or, maybe you make a poster and up at the top it says the purpose or here's the goal. But it needs to be there so that people understand where you're coming from. Okay. Let's see. This is a visual. All right. So make sure you've got lots of pictures and graphs and video clips or diagrams. And the rest of it, what you think of as text, you should be kind of teaching or explaining to your audience. Okay. You need to really make sure that you're thinking as far as your audience, they don't know anything about your topic. Okay, so you really have to go down to the lowest level and then explain it up from there. Okay, so you need to have a big idea, and then after that big idea, you can't just jump to the next big idea. You have to have your supporting details, 4 or 5 of those, and then another big idea, and then support it. Okay. Another thing that you're going to have to spend a lot of time thinking about and how you're going to teach to your audience is vocabulary. Okay. With astronomy and some of these topics, there's a lot of things that people don't understand, so you need to be able to explain that. Okay. So as far as like what are the requirements to complete this project, you've got to have at least 2 big ideas. All right, so you can have more for sure, but at least 2 big ideas for your topic. Okay, and then at least 3 supporting facts for each of those big ideas. Okay, so like our research paper, I kind of gave you a structure here, right? So the first thing you're going to do is, like I said, be very transparent with your audience and tell them what the main goal of the activity is. Okay, and then from there you can jump into your big idea, discuss what it is, make sure you've got those supporting facts, at least 3 of those. Again, you can have more. Any new or important vocabulary, make sure you go through it slowly so that it's understandable. And then before you move into your next big idea, you need to kind of wrap it all up, summarize your first main idea that you want your audience to understand. Okay, and then you just repeat that for your second big idea. And then if you want more big ideas, you just follow that same process. Okay, and then you do have to cite your sources. Make sure, like I said, they are reliable. If you need the crap test for that, the link is there for you. Okay, so that's the outline. Okay, that takes us to step 2 of this process. After you've built the lesson or the visual, you need to share it and kind of get it out there so people can start taking a look at those cool astronomy things. Okay, so by Wednesday night, 11:59 p.m., you need to do 2 things. Okay, they're outlined here, steps 1 through 10. You're going to create a new discussion post here. First thing I want you to do is type what your topic is. Okay, so if it's black holes or spaghettification or the Drake formula or whatever the case is, write that down. Okay, and then what kind of visual or lesson or whatever you created. Okay, so for example, I've got black holes and then video, okay, or explore activity. Okay, that's what you're going to be doing. Okay, in that same discussion, okay, after you've given the title and everything, you're going to describe how the person's supposed to learn from that visual. Okay, so this is kind of like you're putting your teacher hat on and you are discussing the directions. Okay, so be very clear with that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to copy and paste the shareable link to your lesson or your visual. Make sure you've got your link sharing on. And then you just hit the green check mark and post it. Okay, from there you're going to go find another person's lesson or visual. Please pick something that nobody else has picked. Okay, we're going to try to make sure everybody's lesson is looked at. And then you're going to complete the activity just like your classmate describes it. You're going to hit the reply button, and then in your reply you're going to comment 3 different things that you learned or found interesting from the visual or the lesson, and then also provide your classmate feedback on how the visual went or the lesson went. So what are you confused about, positive feedback, structure, ways to improve, stuff like that. Okay, and then when you're done doing that, hit the green check mark and you're done. Okay, so to recap, Monday, pick your topic, do your research, take your notes, turn it in. Tuesday, you're building. Okay, go back to the directions. They're linked into both of these things. Build it on Tuesday and then post and reply by Wednesday, 11:59 p.m. Okay, if you've got questions, let me know.